A young, ragged girl followed behind her. Emily wasn't sure how old the girl was. Her dirty blonde hair hid the left side of her face. You could just see faint traces of scars peeking through. A surge of motherly affection caught hold of her heart. "Hello there, young lady." The girl looked down at her toes, but she gave her a shy smile. "I see you've made a crown of flowers. You look very pretty." "Thank you, madame. Catherine gave it to me." "Sister, this is Rosa. She's really nice. She knows the name of all the flowers in Sir Gilly's garden." "Catherine, there you go again with your silly names." "Sister, help me convince Papa to let Rosa stay with us." "Catherine." "Papa, please, let her stay with us. She doesn't have anywhere to go." "Now, Catherine, that is not very nice. Rosa here is a girl. She is not a kitten you can just pluck from the street and take home, like you always do with stray animals. Goodness knows we have all the stray cats of France living in our house." "Yes, I know she's not a kitten. I know she's a girl. But shouldn't we take her home even more so?" Francois sighed. Jolene chuckled under his breath. He was clearly enjoying this exchange. "Your daughter has some very unique views, Sir Pereed." "Well, Sir Gilly, what do you think?" "Huh?" Jolene's face lost his casual bystander look. "You're a marquis. I'm sure my father would follow your orders, right? Shouldn't we take Rosa home?" Jolene's brows furrowed at being put on the spot so suddenly. He stole a glance at Francois, who was silently pleading him with his eyes not to humor the child. He cleared his throat. "Well, I'm sure it's up to your father, since he owns the house. He will have to clothe and feed Rosa, you see." "Yes, but I've got all that figured out. Ever since Sister moved to work, nobody minds the house anymore. And I have to wash the dishes every time. Oh, Papa's so busy, and we always have enough food for the two of us. If Rosa stays, then I wouldn't be so lonely on my own. She'll wear Sister's old clothes, and we'll mind the house when both Sister and Father are away. She can wash the dishes sometimes, and I'll wash them sometimes." Jolene and Francois shared a look. "And besides, if it were up to me, I'd have people take one girl home in their house and give her food. Girls don't even eat that much. Not sure about boys." She thought for a bit. "But I'm sure it's not too much that people can't take them home too. One time I ate one whole plate of potatoes and my stomach hurt. If Rosa was there, I wouldn't have eaten so much. Maybe." Jolene couldn't help but laugh. Francois rubbed his neck in embarrassment. "I'm so sorry, sire. She's very headstrong." "Father, I'm sure taking Rosa in wouldn't be much trouble for us financially, yes? My new work pays better. I'm sure we can adjust." "Well, about that, perhaps if Rosa works in my household, it wouldn't be much of a burden to your family, Sir Pereed." Oh, so that's how Rosa gets in touch with Jolene. Gets to be around him. Let's see how the story develops. I'm really curious. So Jolene is great. "You are truly a kind soul, sire." "Not at all. I'm sure I need her help more than she needs mine. Isn't that right, Rosa?" In that case, I would love to offer my house to Rosa. Although I am still worried that this is supposed to be more complicated, sire. What about her family or her friends?" Are we violating any laws, perhaps? I'm not even sure. As long as it is consensual, sir. The details can be smoothed out later. The girl was quiet the whole time. She was looking at her toes or at Catherine. Rosa, do you have any family? Relatives or friends to stay with? No, sire. My mother died a long time ago. But she guides me always. So, please don't be compelled to mind me. No, don't go back to the streets, Rosa. It's September. It's going to be really cold soon. Sir Jelly will even give you work. Stay with us. But, Catherine... Francois sighed in surrender. All right. She can stay for the night. Papa! Just for tonight. Then we'll see if she wants to stay for longer. Catherine, you cannot hold people in their place just because you want them there. Do you understand? If Rosa wants to leave, she may leave. You cannot keep her like an object. Julian cleared his throat. That is sound advice, Sir Pereed. Yes, Papa, I understand. Rosa, please make yourself comfortable in our home. Thank you. Papa is the best. Catherine turned to Gilliam again. Sir Gilly, don't you think if everyone with a house takes one person home, nobody would freeze in winter? You should make it into a law. They'll obey you because you're a marquis. And because you're tall. Oh, so people obey my orders because I am tall. What a compliment. Well, you're taller than my papa, at least. He'll never be a marquis. Francois pulled on his daughter's ear with embarrassment. Catherine, mind your manners. I'm so sorry, sire. Julian shook his head, his eyes trailing over the Pereed family. Emily watched him curiously. That same sadness once again surfaced for the briefest moment. You have a lovely family, sire. I'm quite jealous. You make me want to settle down myself someday. He chuckled. Maybe. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Did he just look at her when he said that? She couldn't be sure. Catherine is perfect the way she is. It is one of the reasons why I am very interested in her. Jolim knelt down so that he was eye to eye with Catherine. Patted her head. You are a very intelligent and kind-hearted girl, Catherine. You are a star. Mon étoile. Someday, I know you will change the world. At least, I'd like to see you try. Mother. Help me. My chest. I can't breathe. No. Catherine. Chapter 2. La piqûre. I don't know what la piqûre means. It's funny, is it not? They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they'll stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You were always so weak. Always so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. She was nothing but selfish, or she led you astray. Whew, tough choices again. Let's say she led you astray. Oh, Catherine was a curse. That was not exactly what I wanted to say, but okay. Catherine was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. I knew she would just cause you pain. What? When did Catherine die? I'm glad she's dead, or I'm glad you're back to me. That's just too cruel to say. Let's say this. I was so worried about you, darling. She almost led you astray. Away from me? Trust in Mother, darling. I am just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed out her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Is this my room? Ooh, it's Jolene. What's he doing in my room? That escalated quickly. Maybe we are jumped a little bit in time. Rosa! She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered. Her best friend was gone. She was gone. Rosa. He wears something different now. And his hair is open. How are you feeling? Jolene sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realize she had been holding onto it tightly in her fitful sleep. She broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa? She remained silent. I came to check on you. You went into shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for you to see her like that. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register how much of their meaning. Rosa still refused to speak, and Jolene fidgeted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just wanted to let you know that she is being taken care of. He's hiding something. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible. Don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. It was unsurprising to hear Mother say such things. She hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness, to curl up inside the hole Catherine had left behind and sleep. My child, tell me you see it. Remember the fear in Kathleen's eyes in her last days? Or look at how he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. I don't want to blame him directly, so I'll choose this option. You have seen it, haven't you? She was mostly hostile. But sometimes when her sanity returned, she was afraid. Afraid of this man. How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I knew Catherine, Mother. He is a close friend. I didn't ask for how long you've known him, but how well. Beyond the mask that he displays in public view. Do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child. Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot. He's different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Jolene with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cask for all her regrets. Jolene seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Jolene and Catherine's relationship began to putter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture of their relationship. Perhaps Jolene was tired of her and had her killed off for convenience. Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him. Rosa stared at the man beside her. He is not to be trusted, child. He is a demon. Jolene returned Rosa's angry stare with a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I am aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up, a hard yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you. As much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Jolene who fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to care for the sick woman himself. Lies. All lies. Keeping up appearances. Then what is it that he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just going to leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Jolene's eyes. But, as always, his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her! I am sure he did! And you're letting him get away with it! Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish, just like your father. Stop. You throw people away. Didn't you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. No, stop it. She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Jolene stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out loud. It pulled a plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded and she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing. She did not even realize her face was wet. Jolene and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears with his hand. He did not say anything while doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her now how many tears a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you're feeling. She didn't know if it was her own or if Mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled up her fists so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. She spat, and the man recoiled at the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her. I know it. She could feel Mother inside her head, building up anger. He has to be punished. You are to blame. He has to atone. I know you're guilty. He must be punished. Gilliam stared at her dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped closer to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me. I hate you. Let me go. But Gilliam didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate. But you must accept my comfort, too. I need you too, right now, Rosa. You're the only one who loved her as much as I did. Gilliam's words brought back Catherine in Rosa's mind. Almost at once, her anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came, all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only right now, the loss, and two friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought she wouldn't be able to stop, and Gilliam quietly held her. Slowly, her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rosa. I know you are thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I will take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Gilliam's mouth pursed and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please, leave me. Gilliam sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. He turned on his heels and left without another word.